Hey class. All right, one more video about objects to think with, attention, and phones in the classroom, which is what I'm talking about today. So I'm actually doing some studies with the Vision and Attention Lab I told you about. I've done some studies and we're compiling the research right now, where we locked away university students at Waterloo. We locked away their phones in these Yonder pouches that you see here. So what is this Yonder pouch? It's actually a neoprene pouch with a magnetic enclosure. And in order to open it to get your phone out, you have to swipe the enclosure over top of this demagnetizer that you see. And this was invented by a company a startup company in San Francisco. I've known them since they were a small startup, and now they become huge, mostly because they got people like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and Jack White, if you know who that is, Guns N' Roses, if you know who that is. These entertainers are using this for their shows. So you walk into a Guns N' Roses concert and you have to put your phone inside this case. They lock it up and you bring the phone to the concert with you so that when you're rocking out to Guns N' Roses, you know, you got your phone in this really weird looking neoprene case. Who wants that? I don't know. Anyway, Yonder gave me access to 300 of these cases so we could do studies at the University of Waterloo. So we've been studying the impact of locking away people's phones in classrooms, and Professor Daniel Smilek and I have been doing that, and we're still working on that research. So Yonder, to me, is very much like the digital tabernacle. If you use it in a classroom, it's like saying, I'm in charge, I'm the high priest of technology, give me your device, I'm going to take it away, and you can't have it. So it's kind of interesting as an experiment. It's going to induce anxiety. If you're trying to do this in a high school classroom, to me, bad strategy, because you're basically just creating this authoritarian kind of situation that teenage kids are going to be resistant to. Trust me, I've had my own teenage kids, 4 of them. All right. What teachers talk about, what they really want to teach is self-regulation. So self-regulation, how do you teach the kids to actually want to not use their devices, to actually know when it's time to pay attention in a different kind of way? Because of this, I invented this thing called resistor case. There's a resistor right there. There is a resistor in the resistor case, as you saw. You guys got all your packages. I tell students when I go out and give these talks to high school students, I say, you know, how does a resistor work? Well, a resistor limits the flow of electricity through a circuit. So if you want to attach a little LED bulb to a 9-volt battery, you can. You can just stick it right on the battery and the bulb will glow. It'll glow really brightly, and then it'll probably just go poof because there's too much current running to the bulb. If you put a current limiting resistor in that circuit, right, it'll slow or it'll impede the flow of electricity, and you can get that bulb to glow consistently and brightly for a long time. And I tell them, this is your brain on resistor case. I know that's terrible, but there's the resistor case. There's the resistor. It is merely there as the resistor is there as an object lesson. So I use it in the workshops I give in high schools. I use it to teach kids about a little bit about electronics, but also it's a metaphor for resisting, a visual metaphor. You can see there, you can see the Band-Aid in this picture. That was not caused by a hammer, I promise. That was on the hand model to begin with, in spite of what you see in this picture. So you've made your resistor cases, and you've seen these cards. So I've basically, there's a website you've seen, resistorcase.org, you've probably seen by now. And I have sent hundreds of these things to classrooms all around North America, to Ireland, to Australia, to France. And I mean, it's kind of like a small startup company of my own, but it's a nonprofit company. I sell them at a price. It allows me to buy more materials, and that's basically it. I've hired co-op students to help make them to keep up with demand. It's a lot of a side job for me, but it's slowed down recently. So here are some students at St. Mary's High School who built their resistor cases. And here's the website here. I've written about this in The Atlantic. So this is an article that you guys should check out because it's kind of a good article to give you an idea of writing about this sort of topic for a broad audience. How do you write about something like digital abstinence for a broad audience? What does that look like? And maybe you'll design some kind of interesting digital abstinence device, and you'll want to write about that in your popular press article that you're going to be writing. So you can check out this article in The Atlantic if you're interested. You can also check out a little bit about the politics behind trying to ban cell phones. And there's an article in the Globe and Mail, it's right here, Tackling Tech, and they talk about resistor case in this article and how it fits into the whole political discourse on technology, on cell phones in the classroom. Then you can check this site out, which is digitalabstinence.org. I have not updated this site in a little while, but there are a bunch of resources on there. There's a bunch of articles on there. I've hired a few students over the years to keep up with the literature review, so you can check that out too, and that might be of use to you in your research, digitalabstinence.org. That's basically it. That's my last video in this series, and I hope you found it interesting. And I look forward to seeing what kinds of objects to think with you all come up with. All right, take care.